Okay.
Give it a try. No big deal.
Okay, this is the...
Yes, that's the approach to the dock.
Okay. OSU ground, this is Warrior 84054 with information Sierra. We're at the Alpha hangars ready to taxi to the active for a 270 departure.
4054, stay ground, runway 23, taxi via Alpha Charlie, cross runway 27 left, hold short, runway 14.
Runway 23 via Alpha Charlie, hold short, runway, what was that?
Cross 27 left, hold short.
Cross 27 left, hold short, 23.
14.
What was it?
We'll hold short runway 14, 84054. Okay. That's okay. If you need to, you know, I should have held this up for you so you can see it.
Yeah.
But good. I mean, that was 90% of it.
All right. Trim.
Sit between the seats. What we're doing, looking just for it to be right in about the middle.
And
little
it's right
white bar.
about the middle.
Good.
Okay. Flight controls.
Okay.
Okay. Annunciator lights.
Okay, annunciator lights are right up here. You're just going to push to test that. Watch them come on. Okay, we want to keep it around about 1,000 RPM, so just kind of kick it up a little bit. There you go.
Okay. Instruments. Everything looks good.
Yeah, we got sufficient oil temperature, we got sufficient pressure, we got pretty much everything. Suction on this side, it's a little low, but that's to be expected for about 1,000 RPMs.
Okay. Primer in and lock. Let's see, this is the primer, right?
Yep, go ahead and just pull it, make sure it doesn't pop out. So for mixture for best power, anytime we're doing run-up, go ahead and do it rich. Unless we're at an altitude or an airport that is a really high altitude or a really high density altitude for the day.
2,000 RPM.
Okay.
Okay, mags. Left. Little drop. Back. Little drop. Back.
Good.
Carb heat test.
Carb heat right there.
Little drop.
Good.
Back up. Vacuum 5, that's good.
Yep.
Amps and volts, where's the amp and volt meter? Right there.
Alternator amperes are right here. We just turn off the alternator.
Drops to 0.
Back on.
Okay. Fuel pressure is good.
Good.
Oil pressure, we already looked at the gauges, are all good. Idle check closed.
Okay.
Throttle friction felt good.
We're going to leave flaps at 0.
Okay. Takeoff fuel pump is on.
So go ahead and turn the fuel pump on now.
Fix to your best power.
It's set.
Okay. Carb heat off, yep. Pitot heat as required. We shouldn't, don't need that. Heading indicator to compass. Looks good.
Yep.
Doors and windows.
I'll close the door when we're ready to take off.
Okay. Transponder. To halt. Landing lights on.
Go ahead and turn them both on.
Strobes are on.
Yep, they're on with the beacon.
Yep. Time note.
Okay, so it's currently about 6:16.
Okay. Brakes release. Okay. Ready for takeoff. Do we taxi off to the hold short and then call in, or do that now?
Yeah, taxi up to the hold short first.
Okay.
Now, do we need to call in on tower?
Yeah. So we'll flop that.
Good. Excuse me. Jammed my finger in a door not too long ago and it's killing me still.
Okay, so I just say OSU Tower, this is Warrior 84054, ready for takeoff?
Runway 23.
Runway 23. Okay. OSU Tower, this is Warrior 84054, ready for takeoff, runway 23.
Zero 54 State Tower, runway 23, on course departure approved, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 23, 84054.
Okay, good. Alright, so we got some wind still coming out of this side.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're still steering with our feet. Go ahead and slowly accelerate to full power. No brakes.
What's VR on this?
Start to pull back around 65.
Airspeed's alive.
State Tower, Seminole 8263, Mike's about 10 miles to the northeast, inbound with Sierra.
Alright, got to keep a little correction in there.
So runway 263, Mike, State
A
Tower.
little more right rudder.
2 miles
A little
straight
more
in
right
front,
rudder.
runway
There you
23.
go. Okay.
140 straight in for 2.
Lower the nose so you can see the horizon. Whoa! Yep, that's the kind of stuff we're going to experience. Alright, so what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is, we'll do a power off stall.
Okay.
So remember, it's going to be, power comes back, carb heat goes on, so pulling the power back to 1500, carb heat goes on, below 104, which is what we are already, first notch of flaps comes in, then we add flaps incrementally, holding our heading, okay? Then once we get to about 65 knots, we're going to lower the nose, maintain 65 until we drop to about 4250-ish right in here. And then at that point, we'll pull the power down. We'll start pulling that nose back to maintain 4250, and then just kind of look up and try and hold your course on whatever cloud you see up there. Once the airplane stalls, you're just going to let the nose come back down, add full power, turn the carb heat off, and take 1 notch of flaps out.
Okay.
All right? So let's go ahead and do it.
Okay.
So power to 1500. Watch that heading. All right, don't lose any altitude. Pitch that nose up. First notch of flaps. All right, carb heat on. Second notch of flaps. Third notch of flaps. All right, we're at about 60. Lower the nose. We're going to lower that nose and we're going to accelerate. So we got to hold our heading. So we got to hold those white buildings out there. Keep them in the same spot.
Okay.
All right. Right about there is 4250. So one hand on the power. Power comes to idle. And we just pitch that nose up. So start pitching it up, up, up. Looking outside. And there's the clouds. Just hold it there. Hold it on that cloud. Okay. There's the stall. It just drops down. Let the nose go down. Full power. Carb heat off. First notch of flaps. All right, lower that nose. We gotta increase in airspeed. So gotta bring that nose back down. There you go. I know it's easy to just get stuck on holding it in one position. All right, as the speed increases, next notch of flaps come out, and last notch of flaps come out. Okay. Okay. So once we've achieved over 90 knots, power comes back to cruise. Not bad. Okay. I know it can seem a little bit scary at first, but we're just going to repeat it a little bit more. Now, what we got to do is we're going to do a power on stall.
Okay.
All right. So, tell you what, let's line up on that. Well, actually, this isn't that bad. We can still kind of get a decent idea of what's going on out here.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, pre-maneuver check is completed.
Yep.
All right. And also clearing turns. I don't see anybody outside. I haven't heard any communications. No, TCAS not showing anything.
Okay.
Alright, so what we'll do is we're going to reduce the power to 1500.
Okay.
We're using those same points out there.
Okay.
Alright, so 1500 RPMs, carb heat on, and we're holding our altitude until we get to 65. Once we get to 65, we go full power. Now once we go full power, we're going to have to add right rudder. So keep that nose coming up because we need to slow ourselves down and we can't sacrifice any altitude. Alright, full power. Alright. There you go. You can see how much right rudder it needs in order to stay in there, right?
Yep.
Alright, so keep that nose coming up. Try and find something out there, like a stray cloud or something, I don't know. And just keep on bringing that nose up. Alright, there's the stall warning.
Okay.
Alright. And keep on going. There we go. There's a stall. Alright, just lower the nose to the horizon.
Downwind, runway 23.
Let the airplane accelerate, just don't let it sink. It can sink a little bit, but you don't want it to like go nose down like it did on the power on or power off stall. Alright. It was only supposed to be tested.
Okay.
Okay. That was hard, right? Say Tower 4054, just passing over the outer bell with about a 2-mile right base for runway 23.
4054, runway 23, clear to land. The ones are 200 at 13.
We'll land runway 23, 84054. Okay. So, the runway we're landing on, we're pretty much perpendicular to right now.
Yep.
So, it's going that way.
Yep.
You can always double check by looking here. Since that's 23, that's the direction of the runway.
Yep.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run perpendicular to it. So in order to do that, we have to fly a heading of about 15 to 140. Okay, so we're going to wait just a little bit longer, and then we're going to turn. So right about here, let's go ahead and turn. So this golf course right down here, it's got a bunch of barren trees on it right now, so you can't really see. You can only see a bare green, literally, or small one. You can't see very well. Bah. Okay. So pull the power back to 1500 RPMs. And let's make our right-hand turn to 140. Alright, so first notch of flaps. Test your carb heat. If it looks good, turn it off. And we need 80 knots.
Which we have.
Perfect. Alright, when we're descending, you need left rudder, right? Correct. I should say correct. Otherwise, it's going to get confusing. Okay, go ahead and add another notch of flaps. Okay, now we're looking for 70. Now, what you'll find is, if you hold the same pitch, guess what happens?
Speed drops.
Yeah, it comes to you, right? So, alright, runway 23 is going that way.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking pretty good. Kind of getting blown out just a smidge, but you're looking good. Alright, try and keep it there. It's looking real good. Alright, good. The only two things you need to look at this point are the airspeed indicator and the runway. So, if you're just slightly fast, don't worry about it. Don't make too much of a major correction for it.
Okay.
So go ahead and add a little power, because there are trees there. I'd like to...
Start turning in?
Yep, start turning in, but lower that nose. We don't want to hold that altitude, okay? That's what happens with the accelerated stall. Okay. Very good. Last notch of flaps. Okay, so we're coming in a little low to those trees. Just hold your altitude. Get us down to 65 knots. We're going to use that to kind of get us down to 65 knots. We'll burn off some things. Alright, there we go. Alright, so what we're going to do is we need to be a little more over to the left. And then we're going to add right rudder and left aileron. Okay? So go ahead and start adding that right rudder and left aileron at the same time. Right rudder to line the nose up. Left aileron to counter for any drift. And power to idle. Down the center line, down the center line. All right, pitch that nose up just slightly. A little bit more. There you go. Okay, so you saw how I just tried to keep that nose down the center line pretty much, right? This a little bit to vary the amount of drift that we encountered. But that was not a bad landing. Okay.
4, turn left into the runway, alpha to the ramp, monitor ground point 7.
Left at the end of the runway, alpha to the ramp, monitor ground point 7, 84054. Have a good night.